What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of Getting the STI Track Prepped. To sum up this drama here, the issue is pretty simple. I bought this front and rear 24mm sway bar kit off Facebook Marketplace from another guy who's parting out his STI Limited. The issue is that he included these white line brackets and the larger bushings for the white line rear sway bars, but he didn't include the mounting bracket for the rear. It's actually a pretty big piece. I'll try and include it right here. And that's usually fine. You can use your old bracket and your old bracket on your GD chassis. You just need different bushings. Unfortunately, they don't sell the bushings by themselves. They only sell the bushing and kit like as a whole. And I'm not about to buy like another sway bar kit or another set of these bushings for like, $100 to $200 just so that I fix this issue. The way I overcame this is I got the brackets that do fit the bushings for this kit, and I mounted them up in my vise over here, just like this. And then I got a pry bar and I just bent them so that they match the shape of the original OEM brackets that came on my STI. That way the bushings fit into this larger bracket, and then the bracket fits into the original mounting location for the STI, just so that you kind of have a better idea of what I'm talking about. These are usually very flat, so they're flat like this. They have this flat angle, but I've bent them so that now they kind of made up to the rear of my STI, just like this OEM piece. The issue is, this is obviously thicker than this one. And if I just use my OEM one, I got the feeling that I would either squish the bushing too much and it would crack and break, or that the bushing would slip out, something like that. And I just didn't want to risk it. So I modified this so that it would fit up. And I made sure that the mounting points fit flush, and we'll look at that once we get into the install. But right now, what we need to do is put these front and rear onto the STI, and then get them mounted up with the spacers on these end links. And starting off the rear, because that's easiest, there is a right and a wrong way to mount this up. So if you notice, your rear has kind of this bump on one side of it. That's to accommodate your exhaust. So this is the way that it should be oriented. So this is facing the front of the car. Bump should go over your exhaust. All right, so now we're underneath the car, and I'm gonna kind of show you how you wanna get this in. So you're gonna kind of sit on one side, and then you're gonna gently snake it over your exhaust. So kind of like this. Whoop. And just keep going, and then, eventually it'll do that. And then you gotta keep going a little bit more, and then there it is. So now you're gonna wanna get your brackets that I was mentioning before. Here they are. And so you're gonna wanna just slip this over. And before I do that, I'm actually gonna get some lithium grease. So yeah, I just got some white lithium grease. These say that they're greaseless bushings. I don't buy that, because on the forums, everyone complains that they always creak. So that's kind of sus. But all right, so I'm pretty sure that these are supposed to mount up this way. And then, very easily mounts up. Oop, didn't mean to bump you guys down. Let me adjust you. Actually can't see what I'm doing. Actually, let me see if I can't just do this really quickly. There you go. Got a much better view of what I'm doing now. All right, so got the bushing rim, and now I'm just gonna locate this bolt in there. Very nice. And you want to get this loosely in there. Otherwise, you're going to have some issues on the other side when you go to fit it up. All right, so this looks like it's more or less in the place that it needs to be in. And then let's go to the other side. Whoa, doing this live here. All right, now that we're on the other side, we can get this bushing all tied up. Oh, actually. All right, now we're on the other side here. So let's see if I can do this. All right, so got this located nice and easily here. And then I think, yep, right on there. Got the bolt on. And then now I just need to screw in this nut. And by the way, these get torqued to 18 foot-pounds, these bolts that go into this bracket here. And then the end links themselves end up getting torqued to, I believe, 33 foot-pounds if you're using stock end links. If you're using the Cart Boys, it's closer to 45, I believe. I'll, as always, link all the torque specs in the description below. All right, got this threaded in. And so I'm just gonna run them in nicely with my impact. I'm not gonna get them too tight, just, just fit it up. Okay, so we've actually run into our next issue, which is this bracket doesn't sit perfectly flush with the bushing installed, which makes me think that I actually need to use spacers. So let me see if I can use some spacers on this, and I'll get back to you. Future Miguel here, and for some reason I either deleted the video or I never recorded it in the first place, but I wanted to say that I tried to use spacers on the rears and in the front, and I didn't like the way it fit up. So I ended up reusing my OEM mounts, and that worked perfectly. I've actually been daily driving the car since then, and I haven't had any issues. So I would say if you ran into the same problem I did, just reuse the OEM bracket. All right, so now that we're done with the rear, we're gonna start on the front. And so with the front, the way I'm gonna snake it over is I'm gonna make sure that these two holes point towards the rear of the car, and then I'm going to snake it through, right? Because these need to line up with these holes back here. So this is kind of the orientation. And same way that you snaked it on the other side, you're going to snake it through this side. and then I'll check in with you once that's done.
All right. Also, future Miguel here. So I realized that again, either I deleted the video or I never recorded it in the first place. But I didn't actually show you how I connected up my white line sway bar end links, or sorry, the carport sway bar end links. And so this is what they look like here. You'll notice that there's only one spacer at the top, and I set that up intentionally. The way that it's supposed to line up is that the you want the end link as vertical as possible with the ground. And this is just the way that I think, because my car is lowered and I have the white line angle correction kit installed, that I ended up only needing one spacer in the front for both end links and no spacers in the rear, which is really sweet. All right, and then just so that you can kind of see in the rear for completeness, if you're looking at the ground right here, you should see that your sway bar end link is as vertical as possible with the ground as you can make it. And I ended up being able to get away with not having to do any spacers. It's pretty vertical as it is. Also, a quick note about tightening torque is make sure to tighten these down with equal load on all tires. So that either means all tires on the ground at the same time or no tires on the ground at the same time. And the torque spec on the brackets that hold the sway bar in place are 18 foot-pounds, and the torque spec on the cartboy end links, those bolts, that's 35 foot-pounds as per cartboy in the video that they just dropped.
All right, as you can see, the H-frame brace is back in place right here. The torque specs on the big bolts is 170 foot-pounds or something crazy like that, those 17s. And then the smaller 14s are at 70 foot-pounds. But honestly, like, it's not a super critical component, so I would just hit it with your impact a couple times, and that should be more than enough. Now, it's time to get on to the subframe brace, which I'm highlighting right here, and you can see right there that we had to take off initially. Torque spec on all those bolts is 44 foot-pounds. So I'm just gonna knock those out really quick, and then I'll catch up with you bench side.
All right, just wrapped up installing those sway bars and torquing everything down to spec. As you can see, car is back on the ground. I have taken a little shower because I was super dirty. Thanks for watching episode 7. I really appreciate everybody that has watched. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, drop them down below. And stay in tune next week for the final in this series, episode 8. Coilovers. Also, have a great day, and I really appreciate you guys watching.